Hello, Assalamu alaikum. I am Ahmed, an international matchmaker. Every now and then, our experience is double, and there are certain things that we feel should reach you. That's why we find it necessary to make these videos from time to time, and the messages being conveyed in them, believe me, the day you take these messages seriously, more than half of your problems will be solved without paying any fee to anyone. So let's start by sharing some basic points. There is the ahmedmatchmaker.com website, indianmarriagebureau.com, dubaimarriagebureau.com, pakistanimarriagebureau.com, and our email address is ahmedmatchmaker@gmail.com. You can contact us. Anyway, that information wasn't so important. What I really want to do is share with you some experiences we've had over the past 3 to 4 months. What new developments have taken place during this time? What are the things that we are able to observe? How is the trend of marriages continuously declining? What are the requirements coming from the groom's side that are not only causing a decline in the trend of marriages, but are also leading to an increase in divorces? And is it only the boys who are responsible, or are the girls equally responsible, or perhaps even more so? I would like to start with an example regarding girls. About 3 to 4 months ago, 2 girls registered with us from Dubai who caused quite a bit of trouble. I want to talk about those cases where we faced difficulties and then we realized that people who are not genuinely interested in marriage should not be charged a fee. That is the most important point. Why is that? One girl was Indian, the other was Pakistani, and both were living in Dubai with their families. Even today, they are still there. This isn't something that happened a long time ago. They still haven't gotten married. And I can see that for the next 4 or 5 years, they probably won't get married either. So what are the reasons? What are the elements or factors that are preventing them from getting married? Both girls were born and brought up there. Both of them were born in Dubai and grew up there. One is Pakistani, the other is Indian. But when it comes to their requirements and their outlook, I don't see any significant difference between the two. But yes, when we spoke to their families, we always say, please tell us your requirements. The requirements you mention should be measurable requirements. That is, measurable requirements are things like age, education, height, weight. These are measurable. Saying things like they should be decent people, that's something we can't measure. You cannot measure whether a family is decent or not. And marriages should never be arranged solely on the matchmaker's recommendation. Nor should they be done that way. We don't recommend it either. We simply charge a fee for providing 30-30 proposals. For people in America, the fee is $300. That same fee becomes 1100 dirhams in the UAE, 50,000 Pakistani rupees in Pakistan, and around 26 or 27,000 in India. So we were talking about those 2 particular young girls when their respective families paid the necessary fee and subsequently started seeing potential matches. Something truly interesting and quite unexpected happened, if we can indeed call it genuinely interesting. The girls would consistently reject the various groom profiles without any prior communication whatsoever. They would simply say, no, we just absolutely don't get it at all, even though the prospective guy was highly educated and possessed a very good stable salary. But they just genuinely didn't understand the situation, and without any direct communication with the guys, with the potential grooms themselves, they would decisively reject them. Now, here's something truly important to understand. When you communicate effectively with someone, when you genuinely talk to someone, and then you ultimately reject them, it becomes abundantly clear even to us as dedicated matchmakers at Aiga Matchmaker. We get to truly know your inherent worth. For example, consider the boys' family were they truly and sincerely willing to marry you. So many young boys have called us and explicitly said, Ahmed Matchmaker, we absolutely want a wonderful girl, just like the one you thoughtfully showed us. But those girls, quite unilaterally and without much thought, just said, we simply do not understand this particular match. You didn't even properly communicate. So how are we supposed to accurately know whether you even had the genuine capability or the necessary capacity to thoughtfully reject them? It's like if Ahmed Matchmaker sits here and definitively says, I absolutely do not want to marry Madhuri, you might just passively absorb that statement. But on the other hand, truly think about it. If Ahmed Matchmaker says, I absolutely do not want to marry Madhuri,
Shouldn't Madhuri also be fairly asked whether she genuinely wants to marry Ahmed Matchmaker or not? Or is it just a completely one-sided thing? Now please understand this crucial point. In Pakistani or Indian society, or even in Dubai's bustling society,
whenever a boy and a girl go somewhere like you typically do, woman is always given significant preference. The very best example of this is go to a school, go to a bank. If a girl and a boy of the same caliber come in, the girl will be given preference, the girl will be given priority, all in the name of being an equal opportunity employer. So if your salary is 12,000 dirhams and that's the only thing causing a problem, then either stop wasting time when it comes to marrying a guy earning 11,000 dirhams, or you should take a job with a salary of 8,000, 5,000 or even 4,000 dirhams. So at least this point gets resolved. When girls approach me from Pakistan or even from India, they say the same thing. Ahmed, our salary is high, the guy should be earning more than us. So sister, just stop wasting time and quit your job for a little while. Once you get married, you can join your job again. Now we're coming to the next point. Let's say goodbye to these two girls now. You parents too, pray that such girls to listen to their parents. Now, even among the parents, their father had no idea what they were up to. Their mother, on the other hand, will support them in today's day and age. But when these girls reach the ages of 30 or 31, they won't be able to find any suitable boys. Right now, 4 or 5 boys were ready to marry them, but they didn't even consider communicating with a single one of them. That is the most important point. Now let's move on to the second point. What are the requirements of women who are in their 40s? Alright, let's talk about those women who are either widows, that is, they have lost their husband, whether they have children or not. But it's almost the same. For example, when a woman becomes a widow, her age is usually between 30 and 50. That is, from 30 to 50 years old. So what problems are they facing and what kind of proposals should be applicable for them? At what point or under what circumstances will they be able to get married again? There is a woman who lives in Australia. She is 41 years old. She has her own business. What should her requirements be? So that at a certain point she is able to get married. That's very important. There is a woman who has 3 children. She is a Saudi national. She was originally Indian. Now she is a Saudi national and has 3 children. She is about 45 or 46 years old. She is very beautiful. But what should her requirements be so that she can get married? That's the most important thing, you see. We have defined 3 categories of men. But let me tell you once again that there are 3 categories of men. The problem is that nowadays both Pakistanis and Indians have put the worst category of men into the best category. And when women say they want that category, we already hold our heads in our hands thinking, why would the man you're asking for, given your conditions, accept you? This is what needs to be understood. Look, let me tell you, the first and best category of men is the one who keeps his wife and children with him. His first wife is still living with him and his children are also living with him. Now, he wants to do a second marriage. That is, he wants to marry again while his first wife is still present. This is the best category of men. He is fulfilling his responsibilities towards his first wife and children in a very good way. And now he is looking for a second wife. This is the first and best category of men which Pakistani and Indian Muslim women completely reject. Now let's move on to the second best category. Sir, the second best category of men is the one who after giving a divorce keeps the children with him. Unfortunately, in Pakistan and India, only 3% of men do this. Out of 100, only 3 men keep the children themselves. Otherwise, 97% of men just hand over their own children to their wives after divorce. So after divorce, this was the second best category where a man kept the children himself. But even this has no value in the eyes of those women who want to get married. Whether it's 3005, 3006 or 40, even they have no importance. Those men who have kept their children with them are also not considered worthy of any importance. For women in the age brackets of 3005, 40, 41 or 46 years, in their view, the best man is the one who takes on their children, takes on their responsibilities and shoulders all of their burdens. The ideal man, according to them, is the one who after divorce did not keep his own children with him. He doesn't care about his ex-wife, And as they say, they want a man with zero liability, so why would he take care of your children? You need to ask yourself this question. When he has already given his children to his first wife, if he doesn't take any responsibility for them, if he doesn't keep them with him, if he shows no inclination to be a part of their lives, then why, even if he earns a substantial 10,000 Australian dollars every single month and possesses all the material comforts and luxuries one could desire, who might not have the same familial responsibilities and could potentially offer a different kind of relationship dynamic. That is the most important point. Why wouldn't he do that? That's what you need to think about. You people are not willing to put yourselves in the other person's shoes. Now let me also mention this Indian Saudi national who says, I'm 46 and here in Saudi Arabia many Americans come show me a match with an American national. I said, Madam, you have 3 young sons, you are 45, 46 years old. Let's assume according to Ahmed, the matchmaker, that you are very beautiful, but that American national or even the mirror also misguides women a lot. If you stand in front of the mirror and ask, tell me who is the most beautiful, it will say, you are. So that becomes very easy. Suppose this 45-year-old American national is asked, brother, you have to marry a 45, 46, 41-year-old Saudi national woman, even though you won't get nationality. Whether he's an Ottoman, Yemeni, whatever, if it was an Indian woman, a Pakistani woman and she got nationality by mistake, she starts flying high. She says, I want a man like this. But brother, that man also wants something, right? Or does he want nothing at all? Why would he, being an American national, British national, Canadian national, running a good business, marry you? No, the mirror has told me who is the most beautiful, so this was the second category. Alright, so this third important point, since we've talked quite a bit about women, I sincerely hope no female viewer watching this thinks that all the faults are exclusively in women and that men have absolutely no flaws whatsoever just because Ahmed the matchmaker is sitting here, and since he himself possesses a male-minded personality, perhaps he is only pointing out negative things specifically about women and not at all about men. So let's carefully consider men in this third significant category, since it's usually men who actively approach. Sir, the biggest and most persistent problem with men is that they desperately want to conquer Australia, Canada, Japan, indeed the entire world, all solely on the basis of women. It becomes incredibly difficult. I once appeared on television on a popular morning show where I explicitly stated that if ever there is a woman who genuinely wants to take a man from Pakistan abroad, first it would undoubtedly be me, then people I personally know, then my close friends, my own father, I'd have a truly huge circle of my own, right? I'd certainly send those people. Why on earth would I send men? So let me first clearly explain this to all men. If any man is watching this, he should fully realize that his turn is absolutely not going to come. No family has ever come to me and said they specifically want to take a boy from Pakistan. Even if by some remote mistake they do happen to say that 10 boys from their very own family are already readily available, so they don't even need to come to a matchmaker at all. Understand this crucial point. If any matchmaker tells you that he'll charge a substantial fee and then miraculously get you to America, Canada, Australia, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, no sir, that's absolutely never ever going to happen. Plus, the girl will be beautiful, well-mannered, from a very good family, none of that is going to happen. Even if someone does, by some incredible stroke of luck, win such a lottery, I wouldn't even want to say how many times that particular girl has been divorced or how incredibly unstable her mind truly is. And then she thinks, if I bring a guy from Pakistan or India, many times men watching this will enthusiastically say, we're completely ready. And brother, you may indeed be ready, but those people are simply not. What does your being ready truly matter? You say, I'm ready, madam. That's exactly why the next person says, whenever I have to get to Australia, the USA, the UK or Canada from Pakistan, I have to spend 4 or 5 long years and then I have to leave. So your being ready is no big deal at all. The fundamental question is whether those people are genuinely ready or not. So men, please do not contact me if your only and sole wish is to go abroad. In 10 long years, not a single proposal has ever successfully gone abroad from my platform. There are numerous videos on YouTube with the exact dates from when I initially started till today. And all the videos are still there. In 10 years, not a single person has managed to go abroad from my platform. And as I previously said, the day those girls or their parents do eventually offer such an option, the useless boys in their own family are already readily available. So neither you nor I will ever truly benefit from it. That was the third significant category. Now let's smoothly move on to the fourth important category. The fourth category is specifically about those people who take out a little precious time, spend a little money, speak very politely and gently decline. Believe me, because of their exceptionally good manners, even God is pleased and says, this is a truly well-mannered family. They should keep getting proposals. Otherwise, what we frequently see is that ill-tempered, rude people take interest in them for a certain limited time. The very first proposal comes, fate sends a second, a third, a fourth, but even destiny itself has its inherent limits. At a certain point, fate decides that this person is simply not meant to get married. So what's the point of this long line following behind them? There's really no benefit to it. One suitor comes after another, then a third gets ready after the second, then a fourth after the third. But if these people simply don't want to get married, fate puts a full stop on this person's marriage. And then the marriage just doesn't happen. Then the marriage doesn't happen and people start to worry. You need to understand this very important point. If you truly want to hire any professional matchmaker, if you specifically want to hire Ahmed Matchmaker, then it is absolutely essential to deal with them politely and with utmost respect. Only then should you proceed. But if your intention is to scold people, to humiliate them publicly, like, look at his face, look at this particular aspect, look at that specific detail, then let me tell you with absolute certainty, the marriage simply won't happen. It just absolutely will not materialize. That was a fourth distinct category we discussed. Now, let's move on and talk about the fifth and equally significant category. In this fifth category, the crucial role of the boys' sisters becomes incredibly and profoundly important. There's a particular category, and within this very specific fifth category, people are included where I genuinely get surprised, and many times I find myself thinking deeply about my own beloved sisters, like they never once called a matchmaker, or perhaps we never even gave them the opportunity or the chance to do so. Our own personal relationship just naturally worked out and blossomed. But whenever I vividly remember my sisters, they never ever contacted marriage bureaus. Even though one of my dear sisters is currently residing in Canada and another one is living in America, they never made a single call to a marriage bureau and said, my brother is still in Pakistan. I got married and subsequently came to Canada. I got married and then came to Australia. I got married and then came to the UK, and now I desperately want to bring my brother here because our parents have also recently come to live with me, or some elaborate story like that, similar to how the rest of us have successfully immigrated. They come up with a whole intricate and detailed story. Those sisters, I truly salute those sisters for their integrity. But I say very kindly, sisters should indeed show their immense love and affection, but brothers should also possess a little self-respect and dignity. Why do they constantly make their sisters chase after matchmakers, putting them in such an awkward position? Because when I receive calls, it implicitly means they're probably making other matchmakers chase after them too, telling their sisters to call, to inquire, to ask persistently, and when those poor innocent sisters contact with so much genuine hope and expectation, even then I have to say, madam, if you can truly convince your own brother, why would you even need to convince me? You will pay the substantial fee, but absolutely nothing concrete will happen. Let me tell you this honestly, but still, if your strong sisterly instinct is powerfully awakened and you genuinely think it's possible, then fine. I'll give you 36 comprehensive proposals. That's my professional job. And even then, I clearly state I'll charge a specific fee. I'll provide you with 36 thoroughly verified proposals, and the very next person will pick up the phone and say, yes, this is Nazia's mother speaking, but we are absolutely not interested in bringing someone from Pakistan. That's all. They'll simply hang up the phone. My job is completely done. I receive my rightful fee for providing the 36 proposals. So, instead of lecturing the matchmaker extensively, it's far better and more productive to tell your brother, hey brother, grow a backbone, educate yourself thoroughly. There are many other legitimate and effective ways to come to the UK, Australia, Dubai, Germany, Japan. Try those alternative and viable ways. My dear brother, if I got married in the UK, it's primarily because my husband was either raised here or already lived here permanently. So girls get married and naturally come here. So how can I possibly bring you here from there, from Pakistan? And because of this persistent demand, your sister's life, believe me, also faces significant problems and challenges. So kindly, for this fifth crucial category, to solve the complex problems of the girls in this fifth category, their brothers desperately need to think deeply and responsibly. Otherwise, these very things can ultimately end up ruining those poor, innocent girls' homes and their marital lives, because when they contact matchmakers, and even if a matchmaker takes their hard-earned money, what will truly happen in the end? I know, even if someone takes the money, what will be the ultimate outcome? Those poor girls' money will be completely wasted and lost. Ultimately, they'll start nagging their husbands constantly, and when the boys put them in trouble, when their brothers put them in such a difficult and compromising situation, ultimately, they'll put their husbands in trouble and create marital discord. So, the marriage relationship is ultimately a very delicate and fragile one that requires careful handling. When the boy's family or the boy himself used to come to me for assistance, there was this one particular boy who came to me for help. Let me tell you a story, and from that you'll understand what happens when someone comes to meet and the things they say, because I have daughters of my own. I have sisters of my own. So this boy came and said, do you know so-and-so? Mrs. So-and-so? I said, yes, I know her. He said, she knows me by name. Oh really? Why is that? Because she has shown me 100 girls. I've rejected 100 girls. So I looked them up and down. I couldn't see a single good point in that boy. How did that woman show 100 women to such a strange looking person? And after a proper debate with him on this, I told him, brother, even if you do get married now, you'll definitely get divorced, because the curses of the 100 girls you've rejected will follow you. Anyway, he had come with his mother and now they've left. Let me tell you another important point. Just think of Ahmed Matchmaker as the moon. He's sitting on the moon, working on his computer. You need to decide whether you want a marriage proposal, or if you just want to meet Ahmed Matchmaker. Yes, you say, no, we'll pay the fee. If you just want to meet me, then I won't share any proposals. So, if you want to meet me, then the meeting fee will be charged, because I came to meet you. Wherever you say, just send the visa. Whether you are in Dubai, the USA or Canada, I'll come, I'll meet you, but then I won't show you any proposals. If you want to see proposals, you have to look at the proposals or meet Ahmed Matchmaker. That is the most important point. So this becomes the sixth category for those people who just say, we want to meet you. We want to meet you. No, Ahmed Matchmaker works online. When you order an Uber, the owner of Uber doesn't come, the Uber arrives. What would you do by meeting the owner of Uber? Of course, the owner is sitting somewhere in an office. There is definitely an office. And if it's Kareem, it's the same thing. Kareem will send its taxi, you get your work done, that's all. End of story. But if you say, no, I want to meet the owner of Kareem, then that's something different. This means that in the sixth category, we have to deal with those people who just want to meet us. So these videos are mainly for those people that when you appoint a matchmaker, there should be a particular website for it, and the matchmaker should be available to you one-on-one, present with you, just like I am with you right now. When things are explained to you in this way, the meaning of your marriage, the marriage that is to happen, is communication with the bride's family and the groom's family. And for those between 35 and 50, I have already defined their first category. Anyway, I hope this point is clear now. We do not meet in person. Think of Ahmed Matchmaker as someone sitting on the moon. If you need a proposal, you will receive it by email. You are available to us on call. I am talking to you. So tell me, should I call you on WhatsApp, on YouTube? Where do you want to be called? You can call me, make a Skype call. I am available, schedule a meeting. It's not necessary to meet me in person. This is the power of technology. We can connect you with proposals from the USA, Australia, Dubai, Canada, no visa seekers. When people hear these names, they think, oh, I'll go abroad from Pakistan or India. No, no one is going to take you abroad. I can send you a proposal, but no one is going to take you there. So for those who want to go from Pakistan, kindly stay in Pakistan. If you want a proposal in Pakistan, you can get one in the top cities: Karachi, Lahore, Islamabad, Rawalpindi, Sialkot, Faisalabad. You will get a proposal, but no one is going to take you abroad. That is the most important point. Let's move forward. Now we are moving towards the 7th category. The 6th category is done. We are talking about the 7th category. This particular group of individuals represents a very specific and intriguing segment of our clientele. In the 7th category, there are those people who are exclusively looking for a daughter-in-law. Their objective is remarkably clear and often articulated with a sense of urgency and strategic planning. They contact us typically with a very direct and unambiguous request stating, we want to open a hospital and it is imperative that everyone in our family is a doctor except for this one boy. This statement, while seemingly straightforward, carries a profound implication about their family's legacy, aspirations, and even their financial and professional strategies. The interesting thing is, and it really is quite amusing, that when they present this scenario, they emphasize that every single member of their immediate and extended family, spanning generations, has pursued and successfully attained a medical degree, becoming practicing physicians, surgeons, specialists, or researchers. This creates a unique family dynamic where medicine is not just a profession, but a deeply ingrained part of their identity and heritage. The only exception to this pervasive medical lineage is the specific boy for whom they are seeking a spouse. This boy, for reasons not always explicitly stated but often implied to be a deviation from the family norm, has not pursued a medical career. Perhaps he has chosen a different path, or maybe he is still young and his future is uncertain, but the family's desire to maintain their medical legacy through his spouse is paramount. They envision a future where their family hospital thrives, staffed and managed by their own kin, and the missing piece in this grand vision is a daughter-in-law who can seamlessly integrate into this medical dynasty. They believe that a daughter-in-law will not only contribute professionally to their planned hospital, but also uphold the family's esteemed reputation and intellectual tradition. This desire goes beyond mere professional compatibility. It speaks to a deep-seated cultural and familial expectation. Yes, his